Exciting video, everybody. So I put up a lot of autocross videos, track videos, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually gonna go back to building. We're actually gonna go back to doing some work on the car. So to me, it's an exciting video. Oh, by the way, welcome to the Cobra Daytona Build. So as you can see, I got the tire off. By the way, this is what tracks do to the tire. So when you get off the track and these things are really hot, all the crap that's on the track, all the rubber that comes off tires, they stick to these things. And this is what you get. Hopefully you guys can see this. Yeah, it takes a little while for it to wear off on the street. I guess you get free tire that way. I don't know, but I don't know if it makes up for the ones you've already worn off on the track. But oh well, I digress. So let me show you what we got going on here. So as you can see, I put these QA1 shocks on here. Not all of the spacers are the right width, so I've had to stack some washers in there like you can probably see down below. Hopefully you can see back into here. I've got a washer stacked. I'm gonna make spacers so I can get rid of this ugly looking, these things were just painted. And I'm gonna make these out of stainless steel. So these things will look nice, they'll be the right size. I'll have no washers stacked in there, and should make it a lot better looking. So they give me something to do on my lathe, and we'll see how this thing works. So follow along and I'll show you how I'm gonna do this on the lathe. We'll actually give you a little bit of lathe experience, a little lesson in working a lathe. So, okay, thanks again, and follow along. It's 9:34. So we'll call it 9:34. I may move this a touch backward. So we're gonna call this 9:34. But I'm gonna measure these two over here. They're about 166, 167. So those are pretty thin. As you can see, there's not much. Hope you guys can see this. Let me get the camera back here. So hope you can see there's not much on this back side back in here. It's just two washers. Yeah, I had to kind of finagle this a little bit. So I'm actually going to kick that shock over just a little bit. It's almost vertical, but you won't notice it if I kick it back a quarter of an inch. So out of this 934, I think I'm going to take 200,000 out of this, and we'll go 734. And we'll add it to here, and we'll go 367. So these are lower, rear, and these are uppers. And then we'll measure the other side once I get the other wheel off. I did put a spacer on here. I'm actually gonna, I don't know why that thing is rocking. I'm gonna run a 1-inch spacer back here, by the way, on this wheel. I'm still getting just a touch of rubbing under here, and I think I've been running a 3/4 inch spacer. I'm gonna try 1 more inch. Still should keep it in line with the body, but I'm thinking that's gonna be my best thing to do. So we're gonna give that a try. And eventually, yeah, the wheels are just not, they're not perfect. Fronts are perfect, rears are not. So my my lathe area, got my measurements here. I'm gonna make one to 367 thou. I've got a piece of stainless steel. I got it from Amazon. I don't know what grade it is. So I'm actually gonna face off to one side, then flip it over, and then start facing it off to get it down to what I need. I don't have a bandsaw, so this is kind of the easiest way for me to do it. Yeah, not the best, but follow along. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust my workpiece here, my single point. This is the cutter that came with, my tooling that came with the lathe. I think it's just like a insert. So we're going to have a little bit 10 to 15 degree angle. I'll lock this down. Hopefully you guys can see all this. Okay, and then we're going to fire this thing up. So I'm going to come on in and touch this off. I'm going to back this off, give it just a little more turn, and then we're going to face this on through. So you can see the chips pretty good. It's nice, even. The speeds and feeds look pretty good. I'm getting good chips off there. Done. I'm going to back this off. We'll shut this down. So you can see now I faced this side off. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to clean this up here.
Okay.
So now we're going to flip this thing around and we'll start facing it off to get me the right. So hopefully you guys can see this. I'll clean this up with a little bit of sandpaper. Not a perfect finish, but not bad. So we're going to stick this into here now. So we're going to try to go to 367 thou. I'm going to take this, and this is the way I kind of do it to get my close, because I don't have a method to measure the carriage this way. So I just kind of keep cutting it here. So I'm at 485. So we're going to have a few cuts in here. Yeah, it's got a switch on here. So we'll back it off a hair. We'll touch it off. I do just a 1/16 of a turn and then start working it in. So you can see the chips coming off. You get nice little 3-4 inch chips. Back it off. So I'm thinking I probably took off 20 thou maybe. We'll see. Pretty good at estimating that stuff. So we're down to 459 thousandths now. So we still got a ways to go. So we'll keep working it here. Oh, gotta shut this down. So you can see how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to face this off until I get to 367 thou. Sand both sides to make it nice and smooth and pretty. And then we got a bushing. And then this is going to go over all over and over again to make sure that we got ourselves what we need for the width. So I'm going to say that's probably good. So hopefully you guys can see this. We've got the old mild steel ones here. Look like crap, pretty beat up. We got the stainless ones here. So we're going to bolt these up and then I'll get some video of what they look like once they're done. But way nicer. Here we go. So there's what we've got. So you can see much better. Stainless steel. I think that's stainless too, probably on the shock. So I don't have to worry about any corrosion here. Yeah, the cab plate of bolt will corrode, but it looks much better. So now I'm going to take some measurements for the bottom one because I've got spacers stacked on that. And I will slowly start making these things and we'll get all these changed out. Yeah, it's, who sees it? Big whoop, right? But you know what? You got to admit, it does look good. I don't really want to throw much more up than that. You guys get the idea of what I'm doing. Instead of had the correct machinery, I could do this faster, more efficient. Bandsaw, then I can get it within 10 or 20 thousandths and then just have to face it off to make it square. I don't have one. So I'm cutting these things with a cutoff wheel and a high-speed grinder. So they're left pretty long, probably at least almost a 1/4 inch, 200, 250 thou to make sure I'm not small. But this will be a nice little touch. I know people go, why do you do this? I'm a little bored and figured something to do, clean these things up and then have the right ones, no washers stacked, just looks professional. There are other things on the car that I will go through and do over the next, 6 months, clean up. I am going to be starting paint pretty soon, so I'll start the body work, gapping things and show you guys how I do that. Probably within the next week, 2 at the most. So thanks again for watching and appreciate it. And hit subscribe and we'll keep these videos coming at you. And hopefully more build videos, less driving. But we'll see. I got an autocross next week. Thanks again and have a good day.